you had a wonderful, excellent weekend, and you are back here, back at work, back at your business with heartbeat. It's a wonderful pleasure for the event that we had. It was a wonderful pleasure for the event we had at Washington, D.C. at the weekend. I am talking about the press conference that took place in Washington, D.C. at the weekend. I am glad I will be talking about it here today. This is a packed full broadcast. We shall have much to talk about here. We shall be talking about the lawsuit that Team Ambazonia is taking to The Hague against French Cameroon. We will be also talking about the ongoings in Biya and Kurugwe, where you have civilians rounding up Rook restoration forces and chasing them out of their communities. We will be talking about that. We also will be talking about the invasion of Ngohkentunjia County by French Cameroon troops. For the past 2 days, it has been hot, very, very hot in Ngohkentunjia, but precisely in the areas of Bambalang, Bamising, and we shall be talking about that. So, we'll also be talking about a big announcement, a lockdown announcement for Ground Zero in view of French Cameroon organized elections in our territory, a fraudulent elections that French Cameroon plans to carry out in our territory come this weekend. So much to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, please hit the share button. Go ahead and invite Ambazonians. Tell them I am not live. I am alive right here on ABC Amba Television. You know, I'm smiling because over the weekend, some rooks out there thought they can shut down ABC. Ladies and gentlemen, you never have to be worried. For as long as you support ABC to pay the bills, no rook regime, no rook individuals can shut down ABC. Not anywhere on the social media. I can assure you that. We will have the last laugh. Always, the laugh last. So please go ahead and you hit your share button. Give me 700. And before I get there, please, this is a new ABC platform. This platform has been existing ever before the old one was shut down. This has been there all along. We just haven't used it. So we are here today. This is going to be our platform for until we decide to take it away, or until they tamper with it again. We will know exactly what to do. We are making some permanent plans as to where we broadcast ABC on the social media. But for the moment, we have this one. This will stay. Even if they restore, we have petitioned Facebook to bring back the old one. But even if they bring back the old one, we will stick to this one until further notice. So please, you go ahead. Give me 700 right now on Facebook. I know YouTube is there. I like the way the numbers are growing. We're already almost hitting 700 already. So please keep on hitting that share button. I'll come to you in a few minutes. All right. I have great guests with me here today. I will be exposing them to you soon, revealing them to you soon. So please go ahead, hit your share button, and let me come to you with the presentation proper. What I'm going to do after I'm exhausted with my guests today, after I'm exhausted with the list of my guests, if time permits, I will take a few questions before I call it off for tonight. On the line of guests today, I have Mr. Tom Dula, who is one of the spokesperson for Ngohkentunjia County. You will be speaking with me on the invasion of Ngohkentunjia 2 days ago by terrorist French Cameroon soldiers. And then after that, we shall jump to the next subject, which is the uprising in Biya County and Kurugwe. I think Kurugwe is somewhere in around Batibo there. We shall also be talking about the uprisings of the people, the power, talking about the power of the people in this revolution, where they rise up and chase some rook so-called fighters in those communities out of the place. We shall be having with me, I shall be having with me the chairman for Ngohkentunjia County and also the spokesperson. I'm sorry, it's not the chairman for Ngohkentunjia, it's the chairman for, I think, Mogamo County, and the spokesperson. And the last, not the least, we'll be having with me Comrade Ntumfoin, Bo Herbert, and Barrister John Frunso. They will be dissecting the press conference of last weekend, and we shall be talking about this anticipated lawsuit against French Cameroon by Ambazonians at the ICC and subsequently, possibly, at the ICJ, International Court of Justice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, wow, I can't believe these numbers have just escalated that way. We've hit over almost 800 already. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Before I bring in my guest to you tonight, I'd like to again bring you a few updates, a few announcements before I bring the guest to you. Over the weekend, we had a wonderful press conference at the National Press Club Center in Washington, D.C., in which the lawyers hired by Team Ambazonia discussed the potential lawsuit that they will be filing at the ICC, International Criminal Court, at the conference. I have with me tonight Comrade again, Bo Herbert and Barrister John Frunso to discuss that subject, but we're not getting into that right away. Also discussing tonight is, before I get there, let me bring you some announcements here, ladies and gentlemen. First, we have learned of the injunctions coming from the Colonial Senior Divisional Officer for Mezam and the Colonial Governor for the Northern Zone. First, they ask that Okadas, motorbikes, should no longer ply the streets in the Northern Zone. Not anymore, but for the hours. No, let me put it this way. The governor of the Northern Zone has passed an injunction stipulating that motorbikes can only ply the streets of the Northern Zone. All the counties in the Northern Zone, they can only ply the streets within the hours of 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. If I didn't get it wrong, but it's around this window. So beyond 5 p.m., Okada or motorbikes cannot ply the streets, cannot do business on the streets anywhere in the Northern Zone. Then the divisional officer, the colonial divisional officer for the Northern Zone, for Mezam, has also passed another injunction asking every transport vehicle plying between Bamenda to assemble at the Finance Junction to be escorted up station and those coming through Mbunda down to Bamenda would also be escorted from Metasm down to the city of Bamenda. Now, I am bringing this up to say, number one, we have learned that motorbikes in the northern zone have refused to abide by that injunction from the northern zone governor. As far as transportation up through Mbunda is concerned, we don't know what is happening yet, but this is very, very important. We want all Ambazonians to know those colonial officers, they have no more powers, no more rights to tell you how to live your life. Because Ambazonia, we the people are getting rid of those administrators, and every injunction, every decree they sign, even that signed by Paul Biya for any reason, we are no longer obligated. We are no longer obligated to take instructions, ladies and gentlemen, from any of them. That is what a revolution is about. We call it a revolution because we refuse to take instructions from our colonizers. And so we are asking Ambazonians to go about your business as usual. That doesn't mean you get careless with your life. If you find yourself in danger, do everything to rescue yourself, to save your life. But to take instructions from these colonial officers who have lorded over us for close to 60 years, we have called an end to it since October 1st, 2017. And so we are asking you, if you are a bike rider in the northern zone, in any of the counties in the northern zone, please ignore that decree, that injunction coming from the governor. And we are passing a warning to all the gendarmes and policemen and army that the governor thinks he can put on the road to harass any biker, any Okada rider in the streets of Bamenda and in other counties. We are looking out for you. Any biker whose bike is confiscated, whoever does it will be held responsible. Our restoration forces will come after you. Do not think you can go and sit on the street, sit on the road, and think you can confiscate those bicycles and take them to your master. We are making plans to pick up any gendarme, any police officer, any soldier who thinks he can be assigned to the road to arrest, to abduct, and confiscate our bikers who are just trying to make a living for themselves. So let's take note of that. Please go about your business, ladies and gentlemen. If they think that they can control us, why can't they stop ghost towns and lockdowns? Why can't they pass an injunction, a decree stopping those ones? So just as they cannot stop the lockdowns and they cannot stop the ghost towns, we are asking you, please go about your business, and none of you are paying taxes to French Cameroon anymore. All right. Now the last thing before I take you to the program proper tonight. We had a meeting in DC last weekend in which you heard us talk about a potential lawsuit taking French Cameroon to the ICC and the ICJ. At the very point that we were meeting in DC, a newspaper article came out suggesting that some Ambazonians, including Professor Carson Anyangwe, they had already taking French Cameroon to the ICC under the instructions of the so-called government in jail. Now, I am bringing this point here, not because I really want to talk about this, but I am bringing this here to say that something, ladies and gentlemen, is boiling. Something is cooking that we have to remain very, very alert and open our eyes. Open our eyes. At the time we are meeting and deliberating with these law firm, with these lawyers, what to do with French Cameroon. Suddenly, one of the inmates in Kondenge grants an interview in which he states that all the restoration forces on ground zero are under his instructions. In fact, he stated that they are waiting for him to tell them what to do, to pass them instructions. Yes, that interview in Le Messager, French newspaper. And he also stated that he is the one who initiated this ICC lawsuit. At the same time, their surrogates are out here telling you how impossible it is for anybody to even sue La République du Cameroon, ladies and gentlemen, at the International Criminal Court. But they also want us to believe in their own newspaper articles, editorial opinion, that they were the first who did so. This is not about who did it first. It is about what is right. What is right. And but the problem here is the effort to stop any action taken from those outside who want to stop French Cameroon. The other day we'll learn that some other leaders were calling for the Swiss authorities to stop Mr. Biya from going to Switzerland. You know what they are saying? They are saying the Swiss government should stop poor Biya from going to Swiss. So that when the Swiss initiative, the Swiss mediation comes up, Biya would have gotten an injunction that stops him from going to Switzerland. Is that move helping this revolution or sabotaging the efforts of other leaders? That is what is going on. There is another move out there. The move that says all the IGs, including the KIG, all of them. Now, this move is coming from prison, where they are saying it's a suggestion. It looks nice. It looks like an effort at collaboration. They are saying all the IGs should just dissolve. The idea of an interim government was a bad idea, ladies and gentlemen. The same people who sat behind doors and denied some of us. I personally was denied involvement in the talks that created this interim government. Now the same people who sat behind some closed doors and denied some other leaders access into those closed doors, they are now saying the idea of an interim government was a bad idea. So let's shut everything now. But you know why? The only reason they are saying so is because they are not in charge. That is a secret. They are not in charge. They want it shut down so that a so-called revolutionary council can be created where they now find themselves back on the steering wheel. I will be coming back to this in the subsequent broadcasts, but I want you to know what is cooking. Well, we have time to talk about this, but I want to assure you, your interim government is going nowhere. It is going nowhere. You can rest assured of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will start with my guest from Ngohkentunjia. Ngohkentunjia again. Since last week, the troops of French Cameroon have invaded Ngohkentunjia County under the pretext that our Ambazonian restoration forces in that county ambush their troops in the neighboring town of Galim in what do they call it? Division in La République du Cameroon, and so they've used that as a cover up to launch an invasion of Ngohkentunjia. And so for the past 2 days, today will be the third day that Ngohkentunjia has been under invasion, and we're taught to bring you updates of that invasion. So I have with me right here Dr. Indula, Tom Indula, who is one of the communications person for Ngohkentunjia County, to update Ambazonia of what is happening in Ngohkentunjia today. Comrade Tom, it's a privilege to have you here, sir. Good evening in Europe.
Good evening, Secretary Chris.
Thank you for joining me. I hope your people are doing okay in Ngohkentunjia.
Our people in Ngohkentunjia are doing fine. They are waxing strong, and they are stronger than before. And with the collaboration in Ngohkentunjia, we have to know Ngohkentunjia 13 villages, and we all work as one. In every of the 13 villages, there are brave restoration forces, and they all collaborate together.
How many restoration forces do you have there? 3?
In practically every village in Ngohkentunjia, 13 villages, we have restoration forces there. And they cooperate together, they cooperate with each other and back each other up when anything happens, like what happened this weekend.
Okay.
So they are now doing strong after those attacks by the Republic soldiers.
Okay. That's good to hear. So, tell us what happened in the attacks in Ngohkentunjia are taking place in which of the LGAs are involved in this attack?
Well, it is the LGA which Bambalang is. It is the central LGA. It started on Saturday when the La République soldiers from 3 or 4 fronts, from Kutaba, through Bangolan, through Babesi, and through Bamun, did enter into Bambalang to get to our restoration fighters.
Okay.
They've been trying that for long, but in this scale, they've never done that on this scale. And they somehow entered into Bambalang.
About how many troops, 1,000 troops entered in?
There were over 2 loads of over 10 trucks, each full of La République soldiers, and they had helicopters. And they came also through the sea. We have a big lake in Bambalang, so they came through land, through sea, and airborne. So it was a big assault on Bambalang. But God being so kind, we have those in the La République military who tipped us off. And our restoration forces knew what was awaiting them. So they took precautionary measures. As they arrived, Bambalang, our forces had done a tactical retreat.
Okay.
So they did not find our forces there. So they instead, as they were on the lake in Bambalang, they first of all shot one aged person in a boat and took him along. We do not know about his fate. And then they went on to...
you said they got a man from the lake?
Yes, from the lake. Because they were expecting to see our soldiers there who patrol the lake also. But since they got that tip, they were in tactical retreat, but not retreating to allow the La Republique soldiers to terrorize our civilian population as they always do.
Okay.
Backup came from different other villages, and there were at least 3 to 4 battalions of our restoration fighters there. So to confront the La Republique soldiers, they went on. They arrested many civilians from Bambalang, from Bangolan, and they took them along. But they had
they took them along to where?
They took them along with them we do not know whether to La Republique or to one of the prisons nearby.
Okay.
We do not know exactly. But it was under, they had, after all this backup came, our soldiers then confronted them. Our restoration forces confronted them. So there was heated shooting from that Saturday evening till late last night, or actually early this morning. And so what happened is we have that one casualty, that the aged person who was shot on the boat, and then they killed one old pa in Bambalang in his house, and he was burned in his house, killed and burned by the La Republique soldiers before they retreated.
Now, and was that happening yesterday or Saturday?
That was happening between Saturday and yesterday. Up till yesterday, late in the night, there was shooting, and our brave restoration forces confronted them. There were there were many La Republique soldiers, but as I said, in Ngohkentunjia, it is one for all for one. So okay. Bambalang got backed up by other battalions, led by General Spoiler, by General No Pity, and all of that under the command of Major General Shao Mao. They gave La Republique a good fight, and worse would have happened had it not been that our soldiers were tipped off, and they were well prepared, and they collaborated as usual with each other from all the neighboring villages. So battalions came to help chase out the assailants.
Now, so, the Ngohkentunjia restoration fighters have said they did not carry out the attack in Galim. What excuse, what are the reasons French Cameroon is invading Ngohkentunjia in this degree?
Secretary Chris, as we know, the La Republique soldiers, they need no reason to come into Ambazonia and terrorize and kill our people. The same happened in Garbo, where people were not only burnt, young children were not only killed, but also burnt. And that is the same thing that is happening in Ngohkentunjia. One attack happened in Galim, in neighboring La Republique, which is close to Ngohkentunjia. Despite the BAS, this Brigade Anti-Sardinal of La Republique, claiming responsibility, and despite some other military group claiming responsibility, it suited La Republique to pin it down on our restoration fighters in Ngohkentunjia, which they now used as some official excuse to finally come in. They have always been coming in to terrorize our people and battle our soldiers, and they've never really succeeded. Even this time, they did not succeed, because thanks to the tipping off and to the collaboration, as usual, of our restoration forces, they could not cause the havoc that they intended to cause. And it is, one thing is to be said, they would never have really come that close to our places to know where our fighters are without some black legs. It is said some black legs were leading them, led them into Ngohkentunjia, into where our people were. So as they came into Bambalang and did not find our fighters where they were supposed to find them because intelligence tipped them off. So they turned against these blacklegs and beat some, and some were killed by La Republique soldiers.
Now,
so that is what actually happened.
Do we know? I know you have mentioned a few people who were picked up. We don't know where they are. Have there been any casualties, either on the side of Ngohkentunjia Restoration Forces or the Cameroon terrorists?
It is reported to us there were many casualties on the side of the La Republique soldiers.
Where precisely?
Many ambulances were seen transporting their wounded and their dead. In Bambalang, that was the main place where they invaded.
Was that Saturday or yesterday? That happened Saturday or yesterday?
That happened yesterday, and then Saturday, it started Saturday, and yesterday ambulances could be seen transporting their wounded and their deaths out of our territory into La Republique. And from our side, we had, as I said, one PA was killed in Bambalang and burned in his house. And we unfortunately lost one of our restoration fighters in Bambalang. And we have 4 wounded soldiers, 2 from Bangolang, 1 from Bambalang, and 1 from Bamali. So if you see all the dozens of La Republique soldiers who came in, the scores of La Republique soldiers who came in by sea, by air, by land, and our restoration fighters bravely fought, and we had 1 casualty and 4 wounded. So they did a great job, I would say.
Do we have, out of this situation, any IDPs? And if so, where are they moving to? To Bamenda, to where, or they are just hiding, still hiding within the county?
We do have IDPs, Secretary Chris. We've always been having them because, especially Bambalang, Babisi, Balikumbat, where of late a mayor there was causing, recently elected La Republique representative there was causing havoc, was the one actually leading the soldiers to go deal with our people. So we have many IDPs there. So the IDPs, I mean, are being welcomed into the neighboring villages. And as I said, our forces were tipped off by people from inside La Republique army who are loyal to us. And then they knew, and then people could be brought to safety, the restoration fighters and many of the civilians. So those that could not make it were the ones that were rounded up and brutalized by La Republique soldiers. So we have many IDPs and many more now after these incidents.
At this moment, I know that your county has been calling for lots of support. What support do you need in the county for the restoration forces at this moment?
Chris, we need, above all, financial support. We have humanitarian projects that are ongoing in Ngohkentunjia. We have community schools that are being set up, being run by the county. We have many wounded and IDPs that are being taken care of, and we will really need support from all of Ambazonia and for all our wounded soldiers and for the widows left behind. So every support that can be sent to us, be it materially or financially, is highly welcome.
And how are you accepting donations? Do you have like a PayPal, a Cash App? If you do, please just read it And I want to believe that some good Samaritans out there on the social media will put it on the screen for others to copy. So please, if you have the donation information for Ngohkentunjia, please go ahead and put it on the screen.
Yes, Secretary Chris, looking for it. We have Ngohkentunjia county accounts. We have a Cash App number plus 1715 497 3471. I repeat,
again.
Cash App number 1715 497 3471. And the PayPal account.
What about PayPal? Any?
Yes, we also have a PayPal account, Secretary Chris.
Okay, if you can.
Ngohkentunjia County, all of it written in small letters. Ngohkentunjia County at gmail.com.
Ngohkentunjia County at gmail.com.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Then we have also a mobile money ground zero account where you can contact the county at 181-691-62425. Repeat,
right.
Mobile money ground zero account 181-691-62425.
All right. Comrade, thank you very much for coming to brief us of what is happening in your county. Please stay on the story and keep us updated. And I want to seize on this opportunity to appeal to every Ambazonian out there, to please step out, let us support our brothers, our sisters, our parents out there in Ngohkentunjia. The Amba Restoration Forces in Ngohkentunjia happen to be some of the best that who have proven their worth in this revolution. Let us make them proud of us by please putting out a donation to them through the medium that has been put out there for you. Please let us do so. Let us make them proud. Let us encourage them. We are not giving them a salary. We are just supporting them when they go out and they are invaded and attacked the way they are now by French Cameroon terrorist soldiers. Their bullets and their guns are gone. We need to replenish them, and the only way we do so is by donating generously so that they can recover some of the equipment that is gone as a result of this attack. Comrade, it was a pleasure to have you, sir.
Same for me, Secretary Chris. And just one last point.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, just one last point, Secretary Chris.
Right.
Ngohkentunjia is one of 13 counties making up the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
Right.
Going back to the motto of SCNC, one for all for one. Today it is Ngohkentunjia. Tomorrow it will be might be another county. So I'm encouraging us to see that if we are helping Ngohkentunjia, we're helping ourselves. And those of us from Ngohkentunjia, if anything happens in any other county, we will rush to help also, as usual. So thank you all in advance for your generous donations, and long live Federal Republic of Ambazonia, short live the struggle.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure having you. You have a great night over there. And to all the people of Ngohkentunjia, we say you can rest assured, all of Ambazonia stands with you. And again, let me make this appeal one more time. If you love the people of Ngohkentunjia, go there, make a $10 donation. do a $50 donation. I believe you have that information, the donation information on your screen if you are watching by way of Facebook. So please, let's do so. Let's stand with them. All right, I have my next set of guests coming in, ladies and gentlemen. For the past 2 weeks, we have heard of our people on ground zero in Biya County, chasing out the ADF fighters from their county. We also learned few days ago that the people in Kurugwe chased out another ADF camp in that vicinity, in that community. My next set of guests will be discussing what went on in those two communities. But before we get there, I have this announcement to make about the coming lockdown that we are declaring for the weekend. Fellow Ambazonians, we all recall that a few weeks after the elections, French Cameroon courts cancelled the elections in a number of counties in the northern zone and one, the BLM precisely, in the southern zone. Those elections were then rescheduled for the 22nd of March, which is this weekend. Because we have declared every form of public event, not just elections, every form of public event organized by French Cameroon in our territory, illegal. We are again declaring a lockdown. We are declaring a lockdown for Ambazonia this coming weekend. Again, the interim government is declaring a lockdown, total lockdown for this weekend. That is Sunday, March the 22nd. Again, the lockdown is taking place only for a day, only for one day. And that day is Sunday the 22nd. We do not have any reason to add the burden that is already upon our people with multiple lockdown days. We do not see the need for that. And so the interim government came together and decided we let the lockdown take place just for a day. And that day is Sunday, the 22nd, this coming Sunday. So there will be a lockdown, total lockdown on Sunday the 22nd. That means there shall be no church services anywhere in Ambazonia on Sunday. Then on Monday will be our regular ghost towns. So you have lockdown on Sunday and ghost town on Monday. Friday, Saturday, go about your business as usual. You will recall that these elections are not taking place, have not been scheduled for every LGA, because some people are asking, why don't just call the lockdown for the LGAs in which these elections are going to be organized? We thought that every other county, LGA in Ambazonia, must be in solidarity with these other LGAs in counties where the elections are taking place. And also, we decided to make it short, not to add any additional pain upon you on ground zero. So, ladies and gentlemen, lockdown is this Sunday only, March the 22nd. Then Monday, there will be the regular ghost town. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. So please, I ask you, take the news out there. Spread the news. The interim government has declared a lockdown against a fraudulent organized French Cameroon elections in our territory. And we have also made it very clear that every public event to be organized by French Cameroon, including the CAF Nations Cup, will not take place in Ambazonia. So, starting this Sunday, March the 22nd, and then after that, you have the so-called 20th May. Of course, you also have the Cup of Nations coming before then. All these events, you do not need any announcement. Know it right now that they will be shut down, locked down towards those events. All we need to do is communicate to you the proper date for the lockdown. But this Sunday, March the 22nd, no church services. There are churches out there. You want to go to church on Saturday, perfectly in order. But Sunday, only Sunday, no movement, no car movement, no Okada movement. You move or you gather anywhere on Sunday, and what happened at the Commercial Avenue on the Women's Day happened to you. Do not say you were not warned. Do not say you were not told. Please, no church service should gather. No church service anywhere in Ambazonia this Sunday. We are choosing this Sunday to send a message to French Cameroon that none of us went out for their fraudulent election, illegal election. That is the announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, having said so, I will now take a brief break out, ladies and gentlemen, and bring in our next guest. So please, do not touch your remote. Do not touch your remote. I will be coming right back to you. Do not touch your remote. Thank you.
Are you tired of going from dealership to dealership looking for that used car that perfectly fits both your lifestyle and your budget? Are you bored with the same old tactics, the same old styles, and the same old disappointments when you don't find exactly what you want? Are you frustrated because of bad credit or tired of being rejected of in-house financing? Are you tired of going from garage to garage for a car? How about that filthy old car that you used to drive? Are you done? Welcome to the new experience. Barrico Auto Sales has sold and financed cars to over 50,000 people across the country. Our exclusive in-house financing model allows us to provide flexible options for all. Enjoy low rates, free pickup, and award-winning customer service. Reserve today. Barrico Auto helps make car renting easy and seamless for all of our customers. Our financing options allow you to shop our vehicle inventory for the exact used car, truck, or van that best fits your needs. Car selection and customer satisfaction are of great importance to us. We provide the best mechanical repairs, and our services take just minutes. Detail your car with us and get out of that filthy old smell and into something sweet. We will even do your oil change at the lowest rate. And please do not forget that with Barrico Auto Sale, you own and drive your car before you even have to pay us. So come on down and visit us and drive away with your new car.
Barrico Autos, own and drive before you pay. 240-486-4664. www.barricoauto.com.
Start a new career as a Linux system administrator with an average salary of $80,000 to $120,000 a year. Dynamic Tech Academy has transformed many lives for the better through our 6-month Linux program. We are so excited to announce that we are adding DevOps course and Red Hat certification at no charge, which will make students more competitive. Over 80% of our students have no prior IT background, yet vast majority of alumni land jobs in 3 to 6 months after they start applying. Our ultimate goal is to reach 100% student employment. So we work with every student until he or she gets a job. Upon successful completion of the course, we will provide resume building, interview preparation, and job placement assistance. With the Linux course, you get more than 300 hours of in-depth training, and you get to learn from experienced instructors. By the end of the program, our students can be Red Hat certified if they choose. Our alumni work in companies, both government and private companies in the USA, Canada, and even Europe. Want to learn more about the program? You can contact us at info@dynamicdmv.com, or you can call us at 240-604-9505, or you can call us at 240-423-7865. And you can also visit us at www.dynamictechdmv.com. If you are interested in online classes, please register on our website. That's once again www.dynamictechdmv.com. Start a new career as a Linux system administrator with an average salary.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back and thanks for staying put in there. I have with me from my right, from the right to the left, I have Larry Dancy, who is the spokesperson, the communications person for Momo. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, correct me. It's either Momo or Mogamo. Local government, and with me the chairman of Momo himself, in the person of Mr. Fongan Mbakwe. Good to find you, good to see all of you, sir.
Thank you, Secretary Chris.
All right, can Larry hear me?
Yes, Secretary.
Okay, it's my pleasure to have both of you here. There is so much that has been going on in your county, and Momo, precisely the incident at the Kurugwe, where the people of is it Kurugwe or Kurugwe? Please correct me. Kurugwe. Okay, so a lot has been going on there, where we have the inhabitants, the residents, the community turning out in their numbers and asking ADF fighters in that community to leave. The same thing happened in Bui about a week ago, where the community, the entire community, came out and asked that the ADF fighters there should leave. It has become a habit for these communities to step out to force the ADF to leave. When I was preparing this show, I like the public to know, I invited a number of ADF officials, and none would agree to come on the show. So I don't like anybody saying, oh, we are slanting the story, because none of them is here to defend it. Absolutely not. We gave them that opportunity to come on, but they just would not. So please, I will start with Kurugwe. Tell us what happened in Kurugwe. I'll start with the chairman.
Good evening, Secretary Chris. And first, I want to give it back to you for the great job you've been doing to keep this revolution moving with the energy. I don't even know where you get the energy from, but I appreciate your leadership and your skills in keeping this revolution going.
Thank you.
That said, I think I'm probably going to talk a little bit in a foreign language, then I'll come back to my local pidgin to our people.
All right.
It was actually on it was a Saturday, the 7th of March, that I was woke up by a phone call at actually 3 a.m. and 3 a.m. the U.S. time, Eastern time, which was early morning back home. And what has happened is the people from Kurugwe, see, this is one thing I want our people and the world to understand. The Mogamo people are peace-loving people. Our brothers and sisters that took up arms from November the 30th to defend their homeland, their community, their family, and their culture, they did that with a very, very good heart. But the bad thing is we had some people that infiltrated our young boys who were trying to protect the community, protect their family, protect their own self, their culture, and their values. And they took advantage of this to get this guy into some sort of a cult, which later on has led us to where we are, that these guys have not been doing what the Ambazonia restoration forces are supposed to do to protect the community and help the humanitarian situation on the ground, but they had transformed the scene into a ransom taking, torturing, raping, kidnapping, and up to the point where it boiled up to the March 7, that the community not only were taking too much, but this particular group uh, actually had gone from we don't know how it happened, brought in cows for about 50 cows, close between 50 to 100 cows, and they let them loose to the point that there was even no food for the community.
Hold on, hold on. Where were the cows seized, confiscated from members of the community?
No, that's a good question, Secretary. Some of them, we are getting information, some of them came right from other, even out of the county. So we don't know how they got them there, but they were using Kurugwe as their base, where they were doing all these atrocities and even letting the cows eat all the crops. And they were forcing the villagers to build fences for the cow. They were going out, catching people right from Bamenda, abducting them to Kurugwe and putting Kurugwe as a torturing camp chamber. So it got to a point where the villagers, they stood up and they said, enough is enough. Our name Kurugwe cannot be taken down the drain as a terrorist torturing chamber just because of a few individuals who are trying to bear allegiance to a particular group, and now has led them to even feel that almost all Ambazonia restoration forces are out there to terrorize people, which is
Now,
not the
this
case.
camp, Larry, let me turn to you now. I understand this ADF camp has been out there for almost the beginning of this revolution, and that camp has just grown larger and larger and larger. And I think it should have been ADF's biggest camp out there in Ambazonia. Am I correct?
Secretary Chris, the ADF camp was brought into Mogamo early and set in Kurugwe by General Ivo, who happened to be a son of Mogamo. What I would say here before we move forward is that sometimes I ask myself if we had to do background check and security clearance. Some of these people themselves leaders will never have the opportunity to lead even a group of people or even a family. The Mogamo people, as I would say here, have exhausted all peaceful avenues, and we have paid a huge price by accommodating the ADF in Mogamo. And I think today, with my chairman present, the message the Mogamo people are sending out to all Ambazonians is that we are not anymore. Not today, not tomorrow, never anymore. When I say we have exhausted all our peaceful avenue and we have paid a huge price, the incident that happened in Guzang was as a result that we an olive hand of peace. When this same effort I would describe as nothing but a kidnapper, an armed robber, and a rapist tried to attack General Commando in his own camp and his village in Numbeng, and General Commando witness succeeded them. We, the people of Mogami, intervened for his release and 11 others. And from then, we thought we had made peace with the ATF.
When you say you intervene and release Commando and 11 others, who did you speak to in the ADF camp? Is it Efang or Ayaba or who?
This Efang happened to come from a neighboring village with General Commando. Commando come from Numben, Efang come from Tibet, the next village to Widiku. So the two of them are like brothers from neighboring villages, the closest is. So they didn't see, we were surprised to see them behaving here as that Efang to attack Commando. Notwithstanding, when Commando to come and his 11 others went to try to kill Commando, shot him on the leg. I assured the people of Ambazonians that we, the Mogamo people, treated Efang, the injury that was inflicted on him by Commando. And Commando did this in order to capture him. We took over him and then tried to make peace with them, telling them that they were all from Mogamo fighting the same and they should not see each other as enemy. We know that they accepted that peace standard. That when the incident in Guzan, own restoration forces who were under General, they were fighting against the military. They thought that was on that were being attacked by the military. Why General Tiger went to Guzan knowing that he was going to give a backup. Had they knew the area was out, that incident in Guzan could not have happened. It was we had supported a hand of fellowship. Our boys thought it was genuine peace that they went to thinking that they were being attacked by the Republic military. No, until it was a surprise to them that when they tried to get into the East Guzan, they now found out that they were instead attacking them. So what happened in Guzan was as a result of the fact that we had extended a hand of faith to the ADF, and thought they were already working together of Mogamo. That is to say that the ADF is a group that you not today, and I will not ask anybody starting from any rank agency with the ADF to trust them for one word, because they will speak something out there while they have a second plan behind. What happened in Guzan, as I'm saying, is as a result of the fact that we had already had at the back of our own mind that we reconcile them, and they were already working together.
Okay.
And on the eve, excuse me, Secretary, on the eve of the incident in Guzan, we just bought a phone to Efang, and one of the person that we kept in charge of the restoration in Mogamo, had it been not because of some circumstances, we were going to send 900,000 for 3 cows that they should use it for Christmas, and one was going for Kurugwe. I am trying to explain this for Ambazonia to see the level at which we wanted these people to work together, but they came into the peace talks with double standard. So that is why I said we paid a huge price, because we tried to extend a hand of peace. So that is why the people of Mogamo today have decided that we are not going to accommodate them anymore. Thank you.
So thank you, Larry. Mr. Chairman, how many people are we talking about in this ADF camp? How many were there? Do we know the numbers?
Good question, Secretary. Now I will get down to the people. So what you already want to talk where really happen. Now I say we will get a population, the numbers where they become out for we. They become say 500, 100, 200. But right now, since that match strike,
for that cam alone,
for that,
ADF cam.
for that, for
Okay.
that, yeah, for the coup. But those numbers, finally, they don't come out, say no be true numbers. Because right now, as we speak, we dey get the count from the we boys and when they do vigilante group for ground, they talk now only about 20 people them with they see. Because the villagers they be rise on this on the 7th, they be go for the place where they come there. The women ahead, the men and the boys, they be burn the whole their medicine, they be take over the camp, and the boys they be flee. So the population will finally go with 1 AK and 10 stick the local sticks them. So from that day to today, they still be scattered.
So are they still within Kurugwe, or they are all out of Kurugwe and Batabo as a whole?
No, they are out of the Kurugwe village, but we spotted a few of them in the neighboring village, Ifa, a few of them in Besom, and so some of them are still in the bushes.
Now, what happened to the cows?
Okay, sorry, Chris.
What happened to all the cows that you said were found there?
The cows are still there. Why because what happened was on March the 7th that this issue took place. We get a Kelebe they become in. Okay. So La Republic terrorists they come in. So we are on restoration forces. They begin for pullback for wait till the environment cool before they get in for control that. Why the population it be under we are humanitarian care where we don't send them money for food and everything, talking with the chiefs.
So if I may come back to Larry, what they do for make sure say these rooks, fraudsters, they not come back for form another camp, not just in Kurugwe, but anywhere inside Momo or Batibo, because we see say everywhere them set up camp. It is trouble in the community. We all see what the way it happened for Bui, where the Bui people, just like Kurugwe people, they went out in their numbers and they chased them out for their community and then promised they no fit ever come back. Then I think now only 2 days ago, they went somewhere again in Bui. I think for Jakiri, they attacked our regular Amba restoration forces, and the people again, they come out in their numbers, chase them, and they kill them. So, Weti, Mogamo, Batibo, Kurugwe, which other place is that again? There's another place.
We get Ifa.
I'm sorry?
We get the closer villages, we get Besom, Ifa, Ambo, Kurugwe, right, extending to Yeneba.
Yereba, that's the name I wanted to mention. So, Weti, your community, any of one of you answer this question, Weti, when a community, they do for make sure that these crooks and fraudsters, they not come back for a camp for one a community.
Thank you, Secretary.
Yes,
May I take that question? Okay. From my personal discussion and all the executive discussion where we don't hold the discussion with the villagers and on the phone, they don't really tell we say over their dead body where they go resettle for them. So all we need now is just the support for make sure that dream be, and we don't start a group now of vigilante only from the Kurugwe boys who know the terrain, and that is now so we will make sure say other people they be run where we see for video for food, they will come back for the village.
Larry, please.
There was something I wanted to add to the chairman to make Ambazonian understand what this Kurugwe camp was all about. As you said, it was like one of the biggest camp in the whole of Ambazonia. That is true, and that was where they had their most depot, and why they have to use that camp to go to Bui to go after, because that was the strongest camp that they had. And honestly, that is it. to tell Ambazonian what these Kurugwe people were doing when you said how many there were not many of them as no, no apologize. There were not many, but few of them that were there, they have 5 detention cells.
5, sorry, 5 what? Your microphone is breaking.
No, they have 5 detention cells where they were going around catching
detention cells, okay?
5 cells, that is to tell you how many people they were keeping, how many people they have kidnapped. As we are talking to you today,
how many, I'm sorry to cut you short, but how do we know how many people were in those detention centers at the time that they were chased away?
When the population in place are dispersed, but we have 2 from Liberia that are undergoing treatment in our state today. Had a leg injury that they shot him on the leg and did not give him treatment. We have one that had pie that has grown chronic, giving them treatment. We cannot afford to send them back now under that condition. Ambazonia is one. There are others. We have to treat them. If they feel as to stay in Mogamo and fight with our brothers, they should. But if they want to return to the BLM, we're going to give them the way. We're going to make sure they get back home safely. Right now, they are undergoing treatment. That is to tell you that those who were being detained in that camp, some were picked up right from Bamenda. They were picked up all over Ambazonia. As I'm saying, they had 5 detention camps. People have paid ransom. Some people have paid 10 million francs as ransom. Some people have paid up to 5, 2 million, 1.5, hundreds of thousands is one thing for them. So what was happening in Kurugwe was just a group of armed robbers. It was a group of kidnappers. They would just get into somebody's compound and they hey, where is your wife? When he comes back from the farm, tell her to come meet us in the farm. Taking control, that is the to which that group in Kurugwe has gone right up to. The people of Kurugwe.
Yes, thank you for that, Larry. Let me get over to the chairman. Are you in the leadership of Momo or Batibo, Mogamo? Are you aware that the hierarchy of the ADF up to AGOVC was aware that their soldiers had 5 detention centers? They had over 50 cows stolen, abducted from people. Have you this information? Are you aware whether the leadership knew about this?
Yes, I would say I would believe right that Secretary Chris, because I want to talk many people, me with people they really understand for ground what they really go on. We don't try for the past 2 years for do all types of gymnastic for work with ADF, because some of we when we become when we be elected, we give as we principle and I say anybody where you pick up any stick for defend any family in a Mogamo, we consider you as we are picking. Whether you come from where, we'll go treat you, we'll go feed you, we'll go do anything. We try to do as much as that with ADF. We don't hold meeting with the secretary, vice secretary for try for even get meeting with Ayaba. It doesn't work. We don't hold meeting with Ayamba. A couple of meetings, me in particular, it not the work. We don't come try back form committee for ground zero for some earlier. I don't send money for even drinks and everything. Say me that she don't get these people together, made it chop, drink, then work, understand, say they want to work for defend the motherland. As which will be the belief. We are thinking will be the belief and say they come for can protect Mogamoans against La Republic. But in the end, after we don't do all these things, then when we try to talk with them, they only come out, the leadership for ADF, they only come out to come back all the atrocity over the talk, like rapes, kidnapping girls, taken to the camp, even raping people's wife, or catching people's fowl from and pigs and chopper. So we don't try to put these things down if you see to the situation where armless civilian, they wake up, let me say, you don't really hot. You don't hot reach for level. The people that come up from southwest, when the villagers from neighboring village in your from where they come with their cocoa money, these boys, they go catch them, take the money for ransom. So it is not, we don't do everything, Secretary Chris. So at this particular point, we want to limit the people at the top.
Now, we don't also hear say at a certain point, La Republic, be they supply arms for that camp inside Kurugwe. In fact, an helicopter was mentioned for some time where it can drop arms for them for day. Eyewitness ABCM send that report out. We also hear situation where La Republic agents, they drive motor into that camp with guns, with arms inside that motor. What you wanna know about all this? Or if wanna be know about all this, how come wanna be just sit down quiet? And La Republic, they keep on to supply them. They took the arms, turn against the people, abduct people, take money, take cows, kill others.
Now, very good question that Secretary Chris. One partner said the topography for that area, it be the help them. When you see that sometimes they come up for air. Because for Gold Ridge, may I just give analysis for somebody, for say for Gold Ridge, for come up back to Boy Town, you will get for pass through Ambo, Ifa, Inyo, then you reach Kurugwe, then La Republic don't get their camp for Ambo. We're at the gateway from we are on Ambazonia Restoration Forces to Kurugwe. So now they're back up that, so La Republic will back them because we don't get the reports that La Republic drink with them.
So you feel confirm this information, say yes, La Republic will drop arms in a helicopter and also some arms have been driven into that camp by La Republic, correct?
We get that confirmation from the ground, Secretary Chris. So
okay. So
yes,
where are all the cows?
The cows, like I said, the cows, right now, since it happened on the Saturday, the 7th, we're still trying to stabilize the population, feed them. Then as the Kelebe just start to come out, the final one, they come out, and literally yesterday, we still wait whether they come out now for good or they still go, they make their games with them. So now why you see we are restoration force that they do, they start with a system of a vigilante for boys and for people that they know the topography for monitor where to go before we step in. Then the cows, nothing that we're going to deal with them after we don't stabilize the environment.
Now, the people where they be for that area where they come chase them away, how them be protected? Because you know these people are vicious. If you go 45, come back with a backup from La Republic and attack the whole community. You know how when La Republic come for community, they burn houses, they kill people. What if they come back this way, burn houses, kill people, chase others away, take back their camp with the backing of La Republic? Which kind of precaution when they take them against this?
Now, good question that Secretary Chris, as I want to talk for people, say we correspond with them now, then they give me the feedback, even for what people do, when to step in, but we prepare, we are restoration force seriously now, and we use now the ground boys for the villages, particularly for Kurugwe. Now them, they don't start for the past 3 days, they don't be a vigilante. So since they know the topography, they monitor everything, and I want just tell you, say we work on getting there and protecting the place. We still also want to thank the IG for the quick action where they help with some talking for start the humanitarian and some sort of a protection. So
okay, Larry, you may have something to add here.
Yeah, I was going to add to the question which you asked for how we existed there for years, and we know all what we're going to be doing. The chairman rightly said, the distance from Ambo, where there is the military, is just like 5 miles. Where there is the ADF. Now, it is like the Republic military is at the end. Our restoration going down to meet ADF. The ADF has a very strong shield. That was La Republique du Cameroon. The question of At this arm that they were carrying from La République, there is every reason to believe that La République was there, or the ADF was La République was DF. Because you cannot be in an environment and you claim to be, you claim and you want us to believe that you are République, and La République is just 5 miles away from you. For more than 2 years, there have never been an attack against any single La République soldiers, and you guys are drinking in the same bars, moving around together, and the population you cooperating. Why should we not believe that they are La République agents, are working for La République in civil? So ADF Kurugwe was La République, in Ambo was ADF. So Ambazonians should know that where ADF is today. I was told about before the incident in Kurugwe that they have a camp at Iwo comes from. The person who reported this incident to me is the CPDM, and a staunch Central Committee member. He wants to believe. I am talking to the Mogamo people and to the people of Mogamo, that is Iwo and so on, those lower villages. They know that what happened in Kurugwe, if they continue to entertain them, might be they are being back, because from the report that the member of CPDM, Central Committee member, told me, they want to believe they are being back there by the chief of that Iwo village and Colonel Woruwo. According to the report, which is coming from a CPDM Central Committee member, whose name I will not disclose here, they want to believe, since this group is existing in Ewo, that the people from Kurugwe are receiving, this year in Ewo is not receiving. The people from Ewo are not being tortured, they are not being intimidated. So they believe that those ADF people in Ewo are being stationed there by Colonel Woru. I am saying this because we of Mogamo are so disturbed of the fact that the people of Mogamo are ADF, which is championed by to intimidate their own people in Mogamo. I am saying this because it's from Mogamo. So it's not from Mogamo. He takes instructions from Mogamo to kidnap his people, rape their sisters, rape their women, rob them, take ransom from them. This is so horrible. And if any man, Mogamo, regardless your class, if you are dealing with a murderer, a kidnapper like Efang, do you expect any respect from us? We don't need to respect you. I'm coming in with disparaging statement because if regard whoever you are, if you are conniving with a kid to bring pain to your own people, you don't deserve it. We are already calling the attention of the people of Iwo that we learn that it is an camp in, and the people of Mogamo have resolved that we are not going to entertain or accommodate in Mogamo.
Thank you by that. Now, there are people who are saying what is going on in Bui, where the people chase out the ADF, and in Kurugwe, where the people chase out the ADF. It should be emulated. It should be copied by people in different communities where either restoration forces or any forces in that matter pick up their guns against the people instead of picking those guns against La République. In other words, if you are ADF, Ambazonia restoration forces in any community, and you are picking up your guns against your own people should be encouraged to do exactly what the people of Bui did and what the people of Kurugwe did in Mogamo. What is your thought about this?
Absolutely, Secretary Chris. I go encourage all we people, irrespective of where you dey, what part, because the disease where they catch cocoa, it go catch coffee. So long as we are brothers where they take this arm and with a pretentious ideology, say they want to protect the community, the people, and then not turn against these people and for begin to catch them for ransom, kill, rape, abduct them, and steal from them. So we will urge, say, we want to build a new society in Ambazonia where it be a house cleaning. And if you ADF, no one correct yourself for the past 2 years, we only try to correct you like brothers and sisters, we will believe, say, the villagers. I don't care which kind of medicine we get, which kind of gun we get, you can never rise against the people. That's a message where they go for ADF leadership. May they know that, and may they know that clean and clear.
Now,
so,
what are you hearing after these two invasions by the people on the ADF? I know you have approached the ADF to see how these things could be amicably resolved. What is the leadership of the ADF saying? What are you hearing from them?
Thank you, Secretary. The worst part, now say even the fact that we show pictures and for people that walk out from Kurugwe almost to Bali with swollen food with kids, we show these videos and out. People like ADF surrogates, like Capo Daniel, they still come on air but can't deny, say these boys that they do atrocious activity like this one. So nothing that would overegg the people for where we're at the top of village and for the community, people that don't vow now say over their dead body, they will reinstall that camp in Samokam.
All right. Gentlemen, we are going to end it here, but before we end it, I like for us to say, we empower every community, and when I say we, I mean we for this interim government. We empower every community. If you get a fighting force for your community, where instead for fight La Republique, that they fight you, that they take away your cows, that they take away your property, that they kidnap people, take millions in ransoms, where they empower one for do exactly what the people of Bui them do for Bui and for Jakiri, and the people of Mogamo they do for Kurugwe. We don't talk this one again and again and again and again. No reason in no day where our own people should be running away and scared of our own restoration forces. Absolutely no reason. Our soldiers, them supposed for to protect Wuna. They're not supposed for to be hostile to Wuna. And so, you wanna find out say any karma, and there is one notorious one in Bafut. I will not call the name right now because I will get there. One of these days, there is a guy in Bafut called Alaji. We have heard stories of cows, hundreds of cows stolen and taken to that place, and another camp in Mankom, I think they call it a Lakbo camp or something like that. So we the talk say any fighters on the ground, we don't care if they be legitimate fighters, if they become a problem to the community will be empowered for chase them out, because this war not be being against us, it will be against La Republique du Cameroon. We want to thank the people of Kurugwe for setting that example, and even those in the Bui for setting the same example everywhere. Every community, we expect the same thing. We want our restoration fighters to defend our communities, to defend our people and defend their rights, and not to turn against them and turn against their rights. I will give you 50 seconds each for the last word, please.
Yes, Secretary Chris again. Before I want to leave, I just want to thank you and on behalf of all the peaceful, loving people of Mogamo watching us and those where they will watch we later. Make them know say we be determined. We be determined. When I say we, I mean all we Ambazonian. We be determined for be a prosperous and successful nation, and we want to say make una all go back for una own community, go back to una local LGA, una sit down, talk for una own picking them. Make them consider their tradition, their people first before they start to pay allegiance or anybody where go take them, go put them for situation. After this war go finish, they not go enjoy the war. They go there for prison. They go there for jail because of war crimes. Maybe brother, they made them not suffer. They can't die again inside suffer. Now my last word that. And I want to say anybody want if prefer for help Mogamo, may look for the comment where me visit with for mogamo.org. www.mogamo.org. Me see how if you have the humanitarian situation we'll get on for ground now. Very big one. Thank you.
All right. Please, Larry, go ahead. The last word, please. Larry, can you hear me? Hello, Larry, can you hear me? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I lost them. I lost the two of them, but I will be right back when I get back. When I get back, you can find on your screen the one and only Barrister John Fru. I hope you can hear me. And the one and only in Tumfoin Bo Herbert. They will be analyzing the ICC case that the lawyers announced in Washington, D.C. over the weekend. So please, I'd like you to stay put. Do not touch your remote. This is going to be very, very, very interesting. Do not touch your remote. I am going to be right back.
Are you tired of going from dealership to dealership looking for that used car that perfectly fits both your lifestyle and your budget? Are you bored with the same old tactics, the same old styles, and the same old disappointments when you don't find exactly what you want? Are you frustrated because of bad credit or tired of being rejected of in-house financing? Are you tired of going from garage to garage for a car? How about that filthy old car that you used to drive? Are you done? Welcome to the new experience. Barrico Auto Sales has sold and financed cars to over 50,000 people across the country. Our exclusive in-house financing model allows us to provide flexible options for all. Enjoy low rates, free pickup, and award-winning customer service. Reserve today. Barrico Auto helps make car renting easy and seamless for all of our customers. Our financing options allow you to shop our vehicle inventory for the exact used car, truck, or van that best fits your needs. Car selection and customer satisfaction are of great importance to us. We provide the best mechanical repairs, and our services take just minutes. Detail your car with us and get out of that filthy old smell and into something sweet. We will even do your oil change at the lowest rate. And please do not forget that with Barrico Auto Sale, you own and drive your car before you even have to pay us. So come on down and visit us and drive away with your new car.
Barrico Autos. Own and drive before you pay. 240-486-4664.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now. Set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay. Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now. Set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay. Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now. Set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and thanks for staying put in there. I am now joined by two guests that I guess are some of the favorites here on ABC Amber Television. I am talking about Barrister John Frunso and Comrade Intumfoy in Bo Herbert. Comrade, it's good to have you, sir. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, Chris, I can hear you. 5 on
Wonderful.
5.
Awesome. Comrade Bo, I hope you can hear me.
5 on 5.
Too.
I hope you hear me.
Wonderful. I hear you. All right. Great to have you back here again, this time to discuss this ICC revelation, the case against Ambazonia versus Paul Biya and all his offenders. Now, I am here referring to the Paul Atanganjis, the Ngala Gerards, the Dion Ngute, and you can name the rest. Last weekend, we had a very, very groundbreaking, wonderful event in Washington, D.C. with the law firm of Fine and Del Valle. And they have promised us, standing with Ambazonia, to file this lawsuit at the ICC against Paul Biya, against the French, against Nigeria. But I am sure you have heard the argument out there that, oh no, this thing is all fake. You cannot sue a country at the ICC when they are not party to the Geneva Convention. So can you please give our people a brief understanding of what you came out? Both of you were there. Give our people a brief understanding of what you came out with from that press conference as far as this point of jurisdiction is concerned. Any of you can take it first.
The lawyer first.
All right.
Well, Chris, I was pleasantly surprised to find myself in that press conference because of what you had announced before, that there will be something explosive on that press conference. So I made every arrangement to get there. And I didn't know the subject of that press conference until I got there. And it had to do with this lawsuit, which was very pleasant for me because I listened to the two lawyers. They seem to have a mastery of the facts, but not exactly the events. And they seem to know what they want to do. And I think it was quite encouraging because we now have a group of competent lawyers from their experience to carry us to the third prong of this fight, which is the legal fight. I was surprised. I was because I wasn't aware. I wasn't invited by anybody. I went there just like Amazonian to listen to the press conference. I didn't even know the subject of the press conference, but I got there. Thanks to that your announcement, Chris.
So you listened to, I think you were one of those who asked the question of jurisdiction, and I think others also asked the same question. Did you leave out there satisfied with the answer they gave to that question as a lawyer?
Yes, I did. And not only that, I have known that even if a country signs the Rome Accord, they call it the Rome Accord. It was done in Rome.
Rome Accord, yes.
And didn't ratify. It doesn't mean much because al-Bashir of Sudan never even signed that accord. Al-Bashir had was issued a warrant of arrest, international warrant of arrest, which he lived with until he was arrested by his own people. So what I'm saying is that there are many ways to get to the internet, to ICC without necessarily being a member of the ICC. The procurator himself can issue an arrest based on a complaint from a people who have been hurt by a government. That is in the statute. That is in the Paris Accord. And I think the lawyers gave a very good response to that question. And I'm waiting to see how they will carry it forward. I just wanted to say that when a thing like this happens, at least let the ACT coalition know that they have their own Ambazonian lawyers to talk to first before they go any further. But that said, we were all satisfied.
Into fine. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, I would like to come in here and especially try to debunk what I believe. And again, I speak not as a lawyer, but as just someone who has done his work, his homework, read up what needs to be read up, and listened to the lawyers, to the experts, and understood what the cases are and examined a few of them. The key part here is that you have people who are telling you today that we cannot sue Cameroon. All of a sudden, you have these people who are defending Cameroon. You should know where they belong, all these people who are defending Cameroon, who cannot look for the crack in the law system that allows our people to sue the Republic of Cameroon. Now, if you want to understand where they belong, then you know because they have not done any reading at all. It is all based on the stupidity that they have loaded on their head, and that's all what they share with the people of Ambazonia. But just to illustrate, Libya did not ratify the accord. Gaddafi was, however, sued. The barrister just mentioned a moment ago that el-Bashir did not ratify the accord. However, he was sued. They have also mentioned that the United States did not sign, did not ratify. However, the United States is being investigated for war crimes in Afghanistan. They have also mentioned that the Saudis, the Saudi coalition in Yemen, did not sign, did not ratify the accord, yet they are being pursued for war crimes in Yemen. So this whole thing about you cannot sue unless you are a country comes down to the thing where people are in fact saying Ambazonia is not a country. And those people should not be listened to by any Ambazonian. We are our own country. We have a right, and that right has been established by international law. The lawyers have said there will be a case before the ICC. They have not told you in which order that case will be played out. They have indicated very clearly that there will be a case before the International Court of Justice. That case is to establish that the conventions and the treaties that establish Southern Cameroon as a country makes us a nation with a right to sue on our own merit. And they have pointed out that India, when it was still a colony under England, sued England under that provision before the International Court of Justice. Now, if that can be done by India, under the assumption that they are a de facto country in waiting, Ambazonia can do the same thing. We can follow the same jurisprudence that was established in the India case. But obviously, there are a number of people who want Ambazonia to fail. And their whole objective has not been to say there is a chance here for Ambazonia to explore a system that is available to them, which, as the barrister was mentioned a moment ago, can be started off by the chief prosecutor herself. She can demand before a pre-trial panel of judges, 3 of them, to investigate a case. And in any event, both France and Nigeria are signatories and they ratified the accord. And both France and Nigeria are acting in the coalition with the government of Cameroon in the same way as Saudi Arabia is acting in coalition in Yemen in the war in which they have been charged with war crimes. So there is a boulevard here that the legal experts can follow, and all those who do not understand anything about law and have refused to read, even as people who do not understand law and are not experts, are out there shouting that it is not possible. Well, I can say one other thing. a French lady who was the leading person in the case against the former president of Chad, Hissène. That French lady was not a country, but her case, thanks to Belgium using their global jurisdiction, was able to get a hearing.
Right.
Belgium sued Senegal on the basis that Senegal needed absolutely to try Hissène or arrest him and bring him before a jurisdiction that could try him. And within 3 years, he was arrested in Senegal, he was tried, he was found guilty, he was condemned.
Barrister John, I see you nodding your head there. You have something to add there?
Yes, I was going to concur with what Bo is saying, that even if a country does not sign that Rome Accord, it doesn't make a difference if they commit war crimes, crimes against humanity, genocide, and so on and so forth. They should be able to be dragged before the ICC. The prosecutor has a very large powers, and they can make that presentation to the court by a complaint coming from the parties that are hurt. Like our lawyers will be filing a complaint to the prosecutor of the ICC. I just wanted to add that I hope that the act is considering associating a team of Ambazonian lawyers to work with them so that we should build up a solid case, because we don't want any flaws in that matter, especially from our history, from the resolutions at the United Nations, from what happened to us, and so on and so forth. We should be able to have a mastery of the facts, a mastery of the law, so that when we go before the ICC, we should not be found wanting. And Chris, may I also give in a word I heard you say about Anyangwe and others who
hold on there, Barrister. We'll get down there, but let me get back to Bo. Barrister John just mentioned the need. Barrister John had just mentioned the need to have our own indigenous lawyers be part of this arrangement somehow. As one of the leaders in ACT, what are the plans? Is it what is going to be done?
Yes, indeed. But just before I answer that question, let me say one more thing about jurisdiction. One more thing is that everybody who is going out there and saying that we cannot sue La République du Cameroun, they have already supposed that the Security Council of the United Nations will not give permission, will not grant a complaint that is tabled against Cameroon. And those who think that way do not believe in Ambazonia. They believe in something else. And people who believe in Ambazonia should stay away from that kind of contamination. They should focus on the positive spirit that is taking us where we are going and forget about it. With respect to Ambazonian lawyers, the movement that happened, again, this is a God-ordained revolution. And when God has lined up people in your front and things are happening at the speed at which things happen in this particular matter, ACT wanted to move as quickly as possible. The lawyers know that there will be a team of Ambazonian lawyers who will provide guidance and who will constitute that team with them. As a matter of fact, when the full ceremony happens, we wanted to make the announcement first, but when the full ceremony happens, the Ambazonian lawyers will be there. Now, for an initial negotiation, we took just one barrister with us, and the senior barrister knows the junior barrister who was there, and we said, you are going to have the responsibility as a young man to make sure that you bring together the professionals that we need to join this team to make sure that Ambazonia has its day in court and has victory when it comes out of court.
All right. Thanks about that. Let us also talk about, let's not forget the ICJ, because I think those who are arguing jurisdiction know for sure that you would need a third-party country to sue La République on our behalf. Are they not correct? Those with this argument, are they not correct?
for the
They are
ICJ,
absolutely correct.
They are correct. For the ICJ, yes, they are correct. We will need a third. We will need a third country to pass through to sue La République du Cameroon.
So essentially, the message is for those who are listening to us and those who do not understand some of these things. For the ICC, we don't need a third country. For the ICJ, we need. For the ICJ, we need a third country.
Exactly.
Now, going back to
two
Bo,
options.
Coming to you, Bo, is the team, the legal team, going to sort out this on our behalf before they ever file anything at the ICJ or what?
Yes, Team Ambazonia will be lobbying seriously countries to support our case. Again, remember that the chief victim in the case against President Abre was a French lady, not a country,
right.
A French lady. And the other victims were Chadians. They pushed their case, and Belgium took up the case against Senegal. So the mechanisms for bringing in a country to support us exist. But there is the additional arrangement that we indicated, the jurisprudence established by India, not yet a country, who took England to that court. And at the point when India did that, they did not have the independence that Ambazonia had. They did not have the resolutions that were passed before the United Nations. We are our own country. The fact that they have sold this lie about us, first, that court may need to clarify to us whether 1608 established independence or not, and whether independence can be established for a province of a country. It can only be established
that is a
for a
point
country.
that I think some legal minds
to be debated and cleared.
Right, that is a point that lots of people have put out there. If indeed 1608 gave us independence, why can't we stand on that statue and take our case ourselves to the ICJ? Why should we even go looking for a third party? Why can't we take the case there by ourselves? Unless the United Nations says, no, we didn't give you independence.
Let me answer that, Chris.
All right.
The first thing we are going to do, we will go direct. Based on 16, we'll go direct to the ICJ. But in order for us not to be embarrassed, we should have a backup, a country that will be willing to support us. That is the strategy that we have to develop. We would, in launching with the ICJ, I'm not talking about the ICC now, but the ICJ, at Resolution 1608 granted us independence, meaning that we were already a country that opted to join La République du Cameroon, which means that we can sue on our own. But in order for the court not to, because you know this court, this international court like this, there's a lot of lobbying, a lot of things that go on. Yeah, we should have a country that if it happens, we will call upon that country to immediately step in and back us up.
Don't find.
Yes, I totally agree with Barrister. That has to be the procedure. That has to be our drive. And don't forget, the Gambia just recently supported one case. There are tons of countries out there. I mean, the countries that are supporting the Swiss-led process, they are not supporting it because they don't understand what is going on. They are supporting it because they understand that we have been cheated of what is our due right. Now, even in addition to that, we have to remember that that support that we're seeking from other countries is something that has to be woven inside the international politics. One thing the lawyers were saying very clearly is that if you say I am right, but you don't go into the global politics, you don't understand how they are played, you don't offer to nations what they need to have by way of interest. And Ambazonia has got some interest here to put on the table.
Oh, yes.
So we are going to go out there and do our job for our people. But we are not going to let naysayers tell us that we are not capable of doing this, because if a wife is being battered by the husband and they do not go to divorce court, a court will never rule in their matter. We have never taken this matter up, and it is time we do it. It is the moment, and we cannot be told by naysayers that we should not.
Yeah.
Now, Barrister John, let me come back to the subject you were going to touch on about a certain publication that came up only yesterday. It appears that after they watched this press conference last weekend in Washington, D.C., they rushed, put out a story in the Post, Guardian Post newspaper to the effect that, Anyangwe has already filed this, the Kondenge IG already started this. You wanted to say something here. What do you have to say?
Yes, I wanted to say that even in the ordinary court, when you file a complaint and go you away, the complaint dies by itself. Anyangwe might have filed something. I saw something like that. He might have filed something, but what was his support? What was his legal support? You cannot just go and file something and go and it's in abeyance over the years, and people are being slaughtered on the ground, and the interim government will wait for you. Nothing took place when Anyangwe filed that his complaint. And that is one thing that I have about these people who are not lawyers. As far as I know, Anyangwe has never been admitted to any bar. What you do when you file a complaint is that you follow up and deal a case. You cannot just file a complaint several years after, you just say and the complaint at the time he filed, all these genocides, all these other things had not taken place. So the facts on the ground have changed. So we are in order to file this case, and I want to thank Bo and the interim government and the act in particular for bringing up this lawsuit, and that we should proceed as fast as we can.
If it is true indeed, that a lawsuit was filed by these people, Anyangwe and the rest.
It was not a lawsuit, a complaint.
A complaint, okay, and yes. Then, so you are the legal mind here. A complaint is different from a lawsuit. So I was just going to say, however, that suppose they did file one, and we are coming from behind with another one. Wouldn't the court be questioning who are these parties suing the same country?
No,
well, the first thing is that I have seen some emails, some WhatsApp. Everybody wants to play king on WhatsApp, and everybody wants to show how much they're doing for the people of Ambazonia instead of going out there and doing the real work. Now, the complaint that I saw is really an email asking questions, and the answer is coming back from the information officer at the ICC. Now, the information officer would be the equivalent of the position I was holding at the World Bank. And I would answer to many people with respect to whatever they were asking that was at my level. So this is a complaint that was treated, an email that was treated for information basis only. And they were referring them to what the court has been set out to do, which essentially says that even when they wrote, they had not explored what the case was supposed to be and how the court functions. There is one that was also sent by the by the Ambazonia Governing Council. Similar response. I know that from Morris and other groups, all of us complained to the ICC with respect to what was going on. A complaint is different from what we are about to do. Hello? This is serious. This is the complaint in 2017, because the Skakuf complaint is 2017. The governing council, the Ambazonia Governing Council complaint is 2017. The genocide was only beginning. So someone cannot tell us that if Chernobyl happened, then we cannot file a complaint about Chernobyl because previously somebody filed a complaint about murder. That is rubbish.
The facts have changed.
So go ahead, please.
I'm saying that the facts on the ground have changed since all those complaints were filed, whether they were complaints or not. When you file a criminal complaint, you follow it up to make it a criminal case. You don't just file and walk away. and expect that the court will come begging, after you, asking you to come and actualize or do whatever. So what is happening now is more serious. Lawyers are now going to file and follow up and prosecute. That's what is going to happen.
So the question that I guess many Ambazonians would want to know, Bo, is what is the scope? What is the scope of this ICC lawsuit? In other words, Ambazonians who have lost family, who have lost property, and so on and so forth, are they going to be included as plaintiffs in that case?
Absolutely. If you have witnessed torture, if you have been tortured, if you have witnessed acts of extrajudicial execution, if you have yourself been a victim of activities of crimes by La République du Cameroun, if you have testimony to that effect, if you can provide affidavit, if any of that thing concerns you, you can join this lawsuit. You should join this lawsuit. If you have lost loved ones, if you have people locked up in jail right now, deported into another country, because again, La République proves it any day. And the same La République that tries to say we are the same country has these boundaries, has these borders with custom officers, which the lawyers were pointing out a moment when we were at the National Press Club. This is not the same country. They should stop kidding us. So if you have been a victim, you can join this lawsuit. Now, it doesn't mean you can join at the beginning, because you can still come in. There's going to be work that needs to be done. The scope, really, I can discuss only the scope of the work that the law firm has agreed to do with Team Ambazonia. That scope of the work is in 16 item areas, specific 16 item areas, where we are doing concrete work, including work in the United States, to make sure that all of these war criminals that are in Cameroon will no longer get a visa to come to this country, will see their assets frozen, that they will see a military embargo against them, economic sanctions, that they will face a clamp down on resources that they are receiving from the World Bank or from the IMF, that they will see through a filing that will be done with the United Nations Human Rights Commission, that they will see a rapporteur go into Cameroon to do work on behalf of the people of Ambazonia. So again, remember what the 2 for 5 franc lawyer, Barrister Salai, did with respect to the case that he filed against the people.
The lawyer who never wins a case.
If he did not file that case, there will be no case. Okay? So these people are struggling to tell us, please do not file a case. Now, those people, all of them who are saying we cannot file a case, we should not file a case, they are lobbying on behalf of Mr. Biya, because Mr. Biya is beginning to feel the heat of exposure, because Mr. Macron will drop him like a hot piece of coal. Mr. Macron does not want his reputation soiled with this. If he saw Mr. Macron shame him publicly at the Agric Fair, he should wait for what will happen when this case is filed.
Let me add something here, Chris. As it concerns the ICC, those who have been hurt, we will list them all as prosecution witnesses. As prosecution witnesses against Mr. Paul Biya, Mr. Macron, Buhari, and a series of ministers in Cameroon, plus the military people and the 2 governors. Those are those will be the accused. But as for those who have been hurt, we will list them down as prosecution witnesses. As it concerns the ICJ that Bo has just been talking, yes, they will be coming as co-plaintiffs in this matter with the country that is filing. They will line up behind us as co-plaintiffs because they have been hurt by La République du Cameroun. So that is the clarification I want to make. There's a difference between prosecution witnesses in a criminal matter and the plaintiffs in a civil matter. So that is what I was trying to say.
But one other thing is also that under the ICC regulations, we anticipate, and usually that is how the thing plays out, is that we first hear the complaint is first heard by a panel of 3 judges. The 3 judges decide that they can admit the matter. They decide to launch an investigation. That investigation is carried out by the court, and then a panel of 15 judges then convenes to hear the trial. And in the process of all of that happening, they go through investigations. We can expect that, you know, victims like Ngabu will be exhumed. We can expect that people like Samsoya, heroes like Samsoya, who were beheaded, that autopsies will be done on their bodies, that people like Mami Happy, that they will be reviewed, that we will bring all these matters to the court. So, but that investigation is the responsibility of the court. It is our responsibility to make sure that we get our witnesses, that we get our affidavits, that we make sure that we get evidence that is receivable, that is tenable in trial, that's acceptable in trial.
Now, as far as filing is concerned, what time frame are we looking at here?
I would not venture on the time frame, because again, it is about how you stack up these things. Now, remember,
I'm talking about filing, not hearing. Filing. I mean, on the part of the lawyers.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Because when we write the complaint, when the lawyers put together the complaint against, now we are still putting together our Ambazonia team of lawyers. We go into that procedure. Then those are the people who can tell us what the timeline is for putting together everything, because you don't want to go ahead of yourselves. But there are a number of things that we are going to push in advance of all of this happening. So, for instance, to prevent World Bank funding and IMF funding going to Cameroon, there is action that we are going to take to make sure that the World Bank can tell us how much money up to now has been spent in Ambazonia, provide us with an audit, and henceforth demonstrate that money that is supposed to go to Ambazonia comes to Ambazonia, not go to La République du Cameroun. There are other things, like, take an example. We are victims today. The people of Ambazonia are supposed to be dragged before a court in Côte d'Ivoire called the Ohada Court. We are not part of the Francophonie of the French-speaking countries, and we've got to get Ambazonia out of that court and our people out of that court. Those are actions that we will take. That these are the 16 arms and several things that we will be doing. And remember, this team will then join also with the Ambazonian team that is working with us in the negotiations with La République du Cameroun under the Swiss-led process. So this is a team process that we are starting right now. The big thing for the people of Ambazonia, for some of us who were opposed, for instance, to the Folly Hawk arrangement, I call it the Folly Hawk Mafia, because there was nothing to the Folly Hawk thing. Absolutely nothing. Proof is that nothing was done except 30,000 a month was burned. We have done a deal here for the people of Ambazonia in which we have taken due consideration for the fact that we are not loaded in our pockets, where we have found lawyers who've got their hearts in the right place, who are committed in their conscience, and who are willing to walk with the people of Ambazonia, despite our poverty situation, and they're willing to accompany us. The proof of their commitment is even in the fact that you can see them go out and sue people like the Saudi royal family. They are not looking for money. They are looking to uphold the dignity. And yes, they have to pay bills, and yes, we will support them in paying those bills, in helping them travel around the world like we will do with Ambazonian lawyers. But people of Ambazonia, this is the only process by which you will obtain independence. Yes, we can fight self-defense. Yes, we can do a war with La République du Cameroun. But there's only one way where you obtain independence, you obtain diplomatic recognition, you become a sovereign nation. It is by winning these law cases, it is by winning on the diplomatic front. And this is the instrument by which you do it.
And Bo, as I listened to the lawyers last Saturday, they were quite excited when somebody asked about the possibility of them helping us to create our own currency. Is this something we're going to follow up on it?
There are a number of things we must absolutely follow up with. The dollarization is an interesting for every Ambazonian, if anyone who has traveled, if you go into Liberia, it is a dollar economy. If you go into Ghana, their currency is a cedi, but it is a dollar economy. If you go to Congo, the Congolese franc is there, but it is a dollar economy. Zimbabwe rescued its economy by dollarizing. We have an obligation to make sure that we can push our economy to where it needs to go, that we can disentangle ourselves from this mafia that the French have put in place and that La République du Cameroon is supervising as the manager of the slave plantation.
Barrister Fro.
Yes, I agree with that. I think if we finally get to have our amber as a currency, it should be backed up by the dollar, like Bo is just saying, so that we can have a robust economy.
And one thing they also mentioned was drafting a constitution for Ambazonia.
That is the one.
Yes, go ahead.
That's the one that I didn't find interesting, because the constitution for Ambazonia will be a draft put up by Ambazonian lawyers and taken to the Ambazonian parliament for debate, and they will be voted as in a referendum for it to become a constitution. So I think we Ambazonians should take the responsibility of putting together our own constitution.
Bo.
Yeah, I think Barrister Fru is right on, and you have to remember that when we mention support in drafting the constitution, it is with the Ambazonian team of lawyers. The purpose here is that very early in our quest for restoration, the world needs to see a piece of document that defines what kind of country we want to become, so that they don't guess what we're going to become, that they can see very clearly where we are going. So they thought that they should bring support to the Ambazonian lawyers as quickly as possible and work with them. Now, one of the lawyers in this law firm has worked with constitutions in 30 countries altogether. He is a former deputy attorney general for the United States, and he's got a ton of experience. And it's the kind of person that we should be happy to tap expertise from, benefit from. And there are other aspects that they're trying to tag onto this. Now, the United States Constitution, without the Federalist Papers, is just a piece of paper. When you put together the Federalist Papers and the Constitution, which allows you to understand the spirit of the drafters of the Constitution, which is what this exercise is going to be all about, and the people of Ambazonia who are going to be supporting this process of funding this whole mechanism to bring us to deliver on all of these 16 areas of work with the law firm, these are the people whom we are going to be saying, please join us in thinking through how the Constitution of Ambazonia should look. It's everything plus a constitutional conference, like the one the United States had in Philadelphia, that rises with those Federalist Papers, penned by Ambazonian lawyers, but inspired by that spirit of the United States. So we can build a country that is indeed a shining city on the hill in Africa.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I am going to take a few phone calls, maybe 3 or 5, from Ambazonians who probably may be needing a little more answers to this lawsuit and the law firm. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching out there, you are free to call. I will not put the phone line on the screen. Most of you have that phone line. And if you are calling from ground zero or anywhere else watching on your computer or on your television set, please do not call until you turn down the volume of your set. And when you call, go straight to your question. You have only 1 minute to ask a question. Again, if you have to call, make sure the volume of your set is turned down. Let me get the first caller here. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Chris.
Hello, good evening, sir. May I know where you're calling in from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Swiss, sir. I would like to ask our brother, Mr. Bo, what will it take to make him part of the IG? It is something that I'm really concerned. What will it take to make the Morris part of the IG? Thank you very much.
Thank you for the call. I guess you didn't get the subject of this discussion. We are discussing the lawsuit against French Cameroon and not who joined what. But I will allow Bo to, if you want to make any comment on that, that is okay.
No, I would just indicate that the question has been heard by Maurice. Maurice will debate it. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. I will take the next caller here. Hello, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, Secretary Chris. I extend my greetings to Barrister Fruit also and Pabo Herbert. This is Ochiba Nelson calling from Los Angeles. I want to thank you guys all for what you are doing for Ambazonia, and I want to encourage you to go forward, irrespective of the fact that a lot of people are saying X and Y, because all roads lead to Biya. Whatever initiative you guys take, if you don't believe in it, you don't believe in it, bring another alternative. We have the Swiss talks that are going forward. Those who don't believe in it, let them find another alternative, because we are not going to spend time here to try to pamper people, because it should not be either I or you. Bring all Amazonians, bring forward all the projects you have. Our interest, our only enemy is La Republic. Our enemy is not the IG, it's not Bohebet, it's not Powerful Johnson. Our enemy is La Republic. And I want to tell all Ambassadors on Ground Zero that you follow the instruction of Team Act. I'm telling all the people on Ground Zero, including the Federalists, the PAAYA and the rest, that you have one IG and you have a collaborative platform of the Team Act. All of you should come and join Team Act. We don't want to hear anything about Ambazonia coalition whatsoever. We have Team Act. Even if you are a barrister, a law, you are whosoever. Join these people now. We go to the Swiss talks. We are not going to the Swiss talks to sell Ambazonia. We go there. If the talks are good, we come out of it positively. If not, nobody is going to force something on Ambazonia. We are not going to live with La Republic any longer. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for the call. Any comment, gentlemen?
No, as usual, I like what he has just said, and we'll leave it as such.
Nelson, thank you. More power to your elbows, more grease to your elbows, they say. The activism we must keep must be always that activism that supports Ambazonia. All of us are united in this, even if it takes 1,000 years. Our brothers, our sisters who are now kind of loitering will understand that we are headed in the same direction. Because as they say, it is either you will be going up from Moliko with me to Biya, or you will join us at the stadium, at the, I don't know whether we call it the Joa or the Foncha or the Mukong Stadium, but look, you're going to join us there. We're all going to be united when we hoist that flag. We're going to celebrate together. Whether you hate what we are doing to push the process, show us something so that we can support you. Don't just say we are criticizing they're doing something wrong. Again, you can't point out what it is that we are doing wrong.
All right, let me get the next caller here. Hello, sir.
Yes, hello, good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you're calling in from, please?
I'm calling from Meme County.
Meme County. How was Ghost Town today in Kumba, Meme?
Oh, Ghost Town was very effective.
Wonderful.
It's just that we have been without lights for almost 8 days now.
Still no light.
So I don't know. Yes, still no light. I don't know about the northern zone.
The northern zone, I don't think they are having lights either.
Yeah. So we are just a privileged few who are using our generators to watch what is going on.
Okay. Thank you. What is your question, sir?
I have no question, but to thank you people for the marvelous job that you are doing. And for what we have just gotten this evening, I think I'll really be an ambassador here to spread the news that the revolution is going forward and forward.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And also, may I ask, if I'm a victim, if one of my person was killed, how can I be part and parcel of that team or the witness to the ICC case?
Okay, thank you. I will have Barrister John and Bo take that question. Thanks for calling.
Yes, let me take
Thank you very much.
All right.
Any family that has lost people will be acting like prosecution witnesses and also as civil claimants. But since the courts are divided into two, the ICC is for criminal and the ICJ is for civil. If we have to look for reparation, we'll have to go to the ICJ. So for the ICC, we'll only entertain prosecution witnesses, and a family member who lost a very close family member can be listed as a prosecution witness.
All right. Thanks. Let me get to the
one of the most important things that we are going to need right now as we put everything together. We have tried to do a good job of keeping track of everything that has been happening on ground zero, but sometimes we don't have everything. If you have information of what happened anywhere, please make sure that you share that information with the Ambazonia Genocide Library. Share it with Ambazonia Callings, share it with ABC TV, share it with our lawyers. It will help us go forward and preserve whatever evidence you have, including, clothes which your loved ones were slain, or whatever you can preserve. Please preserve it.
Thank you, Bo. Let me get to our next caller. Hello, sir.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you're calling in from?
I'm calling from Germany.
Okay, thank you. What is the question, sir?
I just want to address my question to Mr. Buhebed.
Okay.
And before I do that, I want to appreciate him for the job well done from behind the scenes. But my question is it not too early for him to be letting this cat out of the bag? We know we are fighting a very ferocious enemy. Is he so confident that where he is now, there is nothing that La Republic can do at this point in time to perturb the efforts? And my next question is, he talked about the constitution, drafting a constitution, and that the lawyers will have a role to play in drafting the constitution. Are we not at this point in time also giving the room for the same European interference that we are struggling, and Africa at the moment is struggling to avoid, for them to come in and get a say in what we have to put in our constitution? Just like what we are suffering today from the CFA franc is part of the agreements that La République had, or French African countries had with France. So my question is, maybe I'm not well versed in that. I want to ask Bu Herbert if it is really well thought of that the lawyers should be part of the drafting of the constitution of the state of Ambazonia.
All right.
That was just I want.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. I will allow them to answer your question. Thanks for the call.
May I start?
Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Sorry, I said
yes.
Matt.
I was going to say that I think Bill and I laid that question to rest. That Ambazonian lawyers will do the drafting of the constitution and will present it to the constitutional conference that will be meeting in Biya. It will be debated and voted, and the next step will be a referendum for our people to approve the constitution. That is what I said. I am not saying that any white people will come and sit and tell us what to put in our constitution or not to put. I just want to take that arms, Bo, so you can take the rest.
No, you're perfectly right, Barrister. That is the intent. Again, if we present it the way we did, it's a mistake on our part, because the purpose is that we told the lawyer said we have expertise in drafting constitution. We said you will support our team in doing that. So in talking about it, it was expressed wrongly. You raised the question about the fear of order. I also would like to say, with respect to fear of the order, that I live in a country here that has accepted me as an Ambazonian American, and that is built on immigration. And the country we should build in Ambazonia should be so beautiful that we are able to be generous with our nationality, with people who love our country and want to come to it. And these two lawyers are probably going to be among the first people asking for Ambazonian nationality. It may happen even before we are granted recognition internationally. But the last point which you raised, and in fact your first question, was whether we were so confident it could not be torpedoed by La République du Cameroon. At any given time, La République du Cameroon is working against us. They're working overtime against the people of Ambazonia. One way in which you defeat your enemy is to let them know that you are going to do what they thought you will never do. La République du Cameroon has always hoped, and one of the reasons they did not ratify the ICC, it was because they thought they could hide. Now they are finding out that they need to do homework, because they are going to have to go before a court. Now that is what Dr. Ngumne, the late Dr. Ngumne, did to them when he took them to Banjul. And at that time, supported by Professor Anyangwe, they did the wonderful work that they needed to do. That is what also Fongoji Dinka did when he dragged them before the Bamenda High Court, when he dragged them before the Abuja High Court. These are instances where La République finds itself before international jurisdiction, unable to defend themselves, despite spending millions of dollars to do so. That's exactly also what Albert Mukong, the late Albert Mukong, did to them when he dragged them before the United Nations. That is what Dr. Derek Akwanga, Ebenezer Akwanga, did to them when he dragged them before the United Nations. The people of Ambazonia must have no fear. Our lawyers will be ready. There's nothing that they can change in the facts. What has happened in Ambazonia has happened. The genocide is available. The evidence is available. They cannot destroy it. They have to know, because part of this is making sure that the international community knows how determined our people are in not being told things like you should accept decentralization. That is never going to happen. We are never going to pass this ball down to our children. They will never live through this ordeal.
Absolutely. All right, thanks for that, Bo. We have 5 minutes to call it off today. Let me take one or two more questions. Hello, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Secretary Chris.
Good afternoon, sir. May I know where you're calling in from, please?
I'm calling from North America.
Okay. Where in North America?
Ottawa.
Ottawa. All right. So what is your question or comment, sir? 1 minute.
I want first and foremost to sincerely express my congratulations to Comrade Boebe and Lawyer John Sok for the wonderful work they are doing. But I want also to say here that you remember the other day, the lawyers who are supposed to be taking over our case were taxed. In fact, to find out whether they will not be bought over by La République, since La République is an agent of world corruption, whether they will not be bribed. So please, before you take the Cameroonian lawyers, with due respect to the Cameroonian lawyers, Ambazonian lawyers, please, you must ensure that very free minds and people, lawyers who are not corrupt, will not infiltrate the ranks of our legal file. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the call. Hello, Bo and Pastor John. Your comment, please. Do it briefly so that we can take one more call before we go.
Let me do it first. For the selection of lawyers, we will have to do a lot of background checks to make sure that you are an Ambazonian committed to this struggle, to make sure that you are not corrupt, to make sure that you cannot easily be bought by La République du Cameroon. We are not going to just pick any kind of lawyer because you are an Ambazonian lawyer. We'll pick you and put you on this team. That will not happen. And you know that there's a law in the United States. If you are working for a client as a lawyer, like the American lawyers, you cannot be seen to take bribe from the other side unless you want to lose your license and go to jail. So we are hoping that our American lawyers will not fall into any of those things. From the way I saw them, they are competent lawyers, they are experienced, they have done a lot of work internationally. So it is not only our case that they will come and then show their hands.
All right, so, thank you, Bo.
Oh, Barrister Fru has answered that question. The only thing I can say is that we will never have a Salah in our team.
No way. No way.
But you know, if you ever take Nsalai or an Nsalai to handle that case, we'll lose it before he gets to court, right? He's never won a single case. Let me get now. How many of you know Nsalai, despite the fact he has never won a single case, not against me, not against Tapang Ivo, not against any of you there. I think, Bo, you were mentioning them. Now they are suing the FBI, suing the Department of the Treasury, suing Homeland Security in America. They cannot win. I mean, it's ridiculous what these guys are up to. A lot of people are putting a lot of money into their pockets.
And Salah wants to make more money from the Republic.
Yes. All right, let's get the last caller for today. Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from DC. This is Fidelis talking.
All right.
I want to thank the barrister and Comrade Bo and all of you for what you are doing. When the lawyers were talking, I was very vigilant and I got a hidden truth that they brought out. I don't know if our leaders took note of that hidden truth, because many people may not really know what they said, because they said no country can help you for free. No country can help you for free. That we should make more friends. Because when we make more friends, we will discover that a country may come and then they have economic
interest.
Maybe interest, and then they will discover now that they can help we, and then when they help us, we can have a 50-50 business deal, rather than this 90-10 that France is doing with La République. And they are even maybe coming to make quarter heads in some of those areas. So those are some of the hidden truth that they brought out, that some people, I'm just saying this so that those who think that they are refusing the Swiss initiative because they think that there will be a new country today that will just come out like a virgin, and then they go and discuss with us, they should just forget, because any country that is coming to back another country is coming because of business interest. So our question is, what terms are we going to do the business? Is it 50-50? If it is 50-50, then we are on the good foot. So that was something that I got from that discussion that many people might not have taken note of.
All right.
And then, yeah. So
all right.
I want to...
Time. We don't have time. We're up for time. Thanks for the question. I will let them... Bo and Barrister John make a response to that. Thanks for the call. All right, Barrister John, please, and
yes.
Bo.
Okay, let me go ahead. Ambazonia has a lot of resources. Ambazonia is the Kuwait of of Middle Africa, not West Africa, and we will do what it takes to do what we have to do to have our country back. So we're not going to sit here and discuss issues like that, but we know about the interest that I heard that intervention from the lawyers, and we are going to explore that a little further. Thank you very much.
Bo.
I agree totally with the barrister. All of us should be aware The reason we have the United Kingdom siding with La République du Cameroun is because, you know, they give them the gas in Victoria. And then we've heard the Russians speak out immediately after they got the gas in Kribi. So we know that these arrangements require that we should counterbalance them. And we will do what we need to do to make sure that our people win this fight.
Correct. All right, gentlemen, thank you for showing up and doing these clarifications. I want to believe that lots and lots of Ambazonians out there who were falling into this trap of saboteurs. Somebody went out quickly, put a phone call to Ambassador Fosong as if Fosong is the god of Ambazonia. Anything he said, we just believe it. I hope Ambazonians got it really clear from the two of you. We are moving forward and we are believing God for a breakthrough through this law firm. And the only thing we can also add is that Ambazonians, we are the ones to foot the bills for that law firm. The only way we will see them doing what they have said they will do is if we foot the bill. Let us do it. Let us do it if indeed we want to get to Biya. We want to see our own country, raise our own flag, sing our own anthem in Biya. Barrister, thanks again for showing up. God bless you all, sir.
Thank you very much.
Could we take advantage and make that announcement about the footing the bill?
Yes, please.
Please, Ambazonians. Please, Ambazonians. This is going to be on us. We are designing a plan to allow you to fund this initiative without too much stress. You can contribute a little bit of money every month, but we must be aware that this is a marathon we're going to be running. So we want you to take a little chunk and join. So it's not heavy on you, but we make sure that this process is going forward. We should not have a situation where you support, you push the boat and it goes out into the middle of the sea, and then the funding dries up in the middle of the sea. And then people will say, hey, it did not work out. We are developing a plan that you should sign up to as soon as you see it, but please make it affordable for yourself. Engage so that you are there for the long haul. Remember that this could take 3 years, it could take 4 years, it could take 1 year, it could take 5 years. So please join fully aware, join committed, and stay committed. That is the only way we will deliver results. I'm saying for the ICC case, but there are other cases for which we will have results much earlier. Thank you very much. And stay coronavirus free, please, everyone.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for showing up on ABC to make this clarification and to illuminate our people out here, both in the diaspora and on ground zero. Before I leave, I just want to remind all Ambazonians, most especially those of you on ground zero, Friday, there is no lockdown, no ghost town. Saturday, no lockdown, no lockdown, no ghost town. Sunday, the 22nd is lockdown, complete lockdown. And Monday will be our regular ghost town. So, again, I make this very clear. The interim government has called for a lockdown only for Sunday. Only for Sunday. Friday, Saturday, go about your business as usual. Sunday, we observe it to send a message. Now, understand this. We are not trying to stop La République du Cameroon's elections. We cannot stop it because even if we stopped it, they will still have results to announce. That's who they are. We've known them for years. So we are only trying to send a message to the world that see our streets, look at our cities. Nobody went out for their elections. So please, every Ambazonian, stay home. Stay home wherever you find yourself on Sunday. It will be a complete lockdown. And then Monday will be ghost town. Thanks for tuning in. I shall be back before the week is over. And one thing I'm also trying to do is one of these days I shall bring the lawyers to you to answer questions directly from you, Ambazonians. In the meantime, ABC will still go ahead to rebroadcast. We did broadcast that press conference last night, and over 20,000 people have already watched it as of now. I think about 21 or 22,000 people have watched it already. But today, we will still find time to rebroadcast that press conference so that all of you can listen from the horse's own mouth. Thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to coming back to you. I want you to stay glued on ABC, and for those of you on the social media, please go ahead and share the new ABC Facebook page. Go ahead, spread the link so that more people can follow ABC and like ABC. Thanks for tuning in. I am going to leave all of you with this beautiful, beautiful piece of music. Before the week is over, I am going to bring the author of this music, Pastor John Sama, to come here, tell you where you can get this piece of music. So, good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Almighty Father, Papa, now you love me so, and